Hello and welcome to another beautiful Nexus report. We've got all kinds of updates for you guys today, but more importantly, right now, we've got Craig Turner, aka Cougar, sitting right here to my left, for another Cougar live ops date.
Okay, I really need to make the deal that if I come on for a live ops date, Frost doesn't do that.
It's my most favorite thing, though.
I'll just do it the second you leave. Like, bye, Cougar.
Fair enough. All right, well, let me jump right into it because I got a lot of things I need to do today, but I wanted to give you guys a little update. We did do a weekly patch last night, this morning, a couple hours ago. We've still got issues that are coming in, so this is sort of at a glance, what we know this morning. If I don't mention something, don't think that it's everything. We certainly will have more things go as the days go on. But I think the biggest thing that we have right now is we've got a zone crash, so a world crash. It doesn't take down everybody on the realm, but it is affecting our two main continents right now with some frequency. Thankfully, it's not hitting everybody. I can't tell you what it is because users could actually force the crash, so I don't want to tell you what it is that is causing the crash. But what we will do is we'll hotfix that today as a real true hotfix. So one of the ways that our server technology works is when a zone crashes, we can actually tell it to pick up the new EXE without affecting everybody. So we can actually fix the crash, deploy it to the servers, and then whenever your server, your world crashes, it'll go down, immediately spin up on the new one, and you have the fix.
Oh.
So it's kind of cool when we can do that so that it's actually a true hotfix with no downtime required. It does mean that once we post that we've got this crash fixed, you could potentially crash out one more time because it has to crash once to pick up the new one.
Right.
So that's kind of cool.
Sense.
We're also looking at the Crimson Badland issues. So we haven't quite nailed our finger on that one. As I was coming across the way to come to the stream, somebody was mentioning, oh yeah, we know what that is, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes when that happens, it may not be the case, but at least we're hot on the trail on that one. We will also try to hotfix that one in a true hotfix sense if we can. More details on that one later as it happens. Looking at the bind on equip item prompt, we introduced a bug where when you're moving around items inside your inventory, you're getting the bind on equip prompt for any soulbound items. That's kind of poopy. So we're going to try to fix that one. That one, it's a technical term. Poopy.
Yeah, very, very poopy. Yeah.
That one will require a normal hotfix downtime. So I have hotfix that's true hot and hotfixes that aren't hot. So what we call a hotfix is nightly hotfix. So that'll go out, 0030 Pacific at some point. I don't know if that'll go tonight or if it'll be 24 hours later, but we're looking at when we can get that up. So we know about it, we've got a fix, it's coming. One of the hot issues is the Shred Tier 8 bug with the Stalkers. So we botched something there, we're working on a fix. I don't know if that'll go alongside with the bind on equip, possibly. And then the last thing is we put in a change that auto mails back your missing items. So through purchasing in the auction house, through any sort of weird way that you could lose an item, it was actually underneath one of your other items and you just never knew about it, and it would be invisible. So you'd have a chest piece, and then your chest piece would be empty, and you'd put on another chest piece, but you actually had two chest pieces. So we made it so that the second invisible item would be mailed back to you, which is great. There were some problems with runes getting unequipped, which is kind of unfortunate, but the item was gone anyways. Bits. There's reports now that we've got new ways of having missing items, so we're still in the early investigation phases as people reporting that I've got, now this item is missing, now that item is missing. Good news is it's a little bit more visible to us and CS may be able to help out, but that is still early reports on that one. And I think that's sort of the top 5 issues that we have on Live Ops Date today. Again, we've been up for a couple hours now, we're still got new things coming in, we're still looking at feedback. Please let us know in the bug forums, Twitter, however you want to reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to look at it. We did have some great things in that patch last night. We were trying to get it out last week, so sorry that it was delayed until this morning, but hopefully you guys really enjoy what's going on out there.
Awesome. Well, as always, really appreciate you coming and taking some time out of your day to give these beautiful people a Cougar live ops day. Yeah.
Well, if you'll excuse me, gentlemen.
Yes.
I mean, I would love to banter.
No,
but
damn it. You're not supposed to say banter.
Did I do it right, Frost? You did well. You did well. All right, bye all.
Thank you.
In fact, while he's leaving, the intro to the show, it says, banter is as banter does. which is terrible.
It's not terrible. It's funny. It's cute. It's Forrest Gump.
I get it.
Banter is as banter does.
If this was 95, this would have been totally relevant.
Not even 95. I think it was like 91.
That's not 91.
Or 93, something like that.
Whatever.
I don't know. Someone
It
hook me
still
up.
would have been more
Hook me up
relevant.
with chat with a date for Forrest Gump because I want to prove him wrong. Anyway, we got an awesome show today.
Yeah.
I say it every week, but today I mean it. We got an awesome show. We are meeting with Jeff Tallon. He is in the building. He's right over there, and we're going to be talking about items. We're going to be talking about items for a while. We also got fan art, an awesome epic moment of the week, and I've been so excited about this. We've been collecting your Shadow Blades memes that you've been tweeting to both of us, and we have got the 10 best Shadow Blades memes ready and prepped for your viewing pleasure and listening pleasure, because you're going to be reading them.
I am reading them in the Shadow Blades tone. Yes. I reviewed these memes myself, in my free time, of course. Not at work, because that would be stealing, technically.
Yeah, that probably would for Shadow Blades.
Yes.
The H&R Block does not look lightly upon stealing from work.
You're stealing from the company's time, Tony. I'm reading these memes.
right.
I'm not working.
Okay.
It is stealing.
Okay. Just relax. Cougar basically gave us our big WildStar update. One other thing, real quick, is we are now offering mounts. If you get a 2-factor authenticator, you get a mount in game. So not only do you get the bonus XP, you also get a mount, and you get to make sure that your account is safe. It's safe. It's like going to bed at night and putting the deadbolt on your apartment. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And then sleeping with a shotgun, like this. You know what I mean?
You just click it every time.
Yeah. That would get out all the bullets, but
Yeah,
that's
then you'd
fine.
wake up
Yeah,
with an empty
that
shotgun
would not
and
be
be
good.
shoot out of luck.
Don't do that again.
Okay.
All right.
So let's go ahead and throw it to a quick launch trailer, and when we come back, we'll be talking with team lead designer for the Itemization team, Jeff Tallon, and we'll be. If you have any questions, post them in Twitch. We're going to be pulling them right now. Post them up on our Facebook page with the last comment, the last post that we made that we're alive. Post them there. I'll be pulling questions from there as well, and on Twitter. We're going to be hitting questions from everywhere.
Dude, all over the place. We've
All
got some
over the
questions.
place.
If you got the tough questions, JTal's going to answer them. Let us
Right.
know.
We'll be right back.
I don't believe it. Planet Nexus now lies before us.
We're approaching the Elven facility. Cambot 1, Cambot 2. You getting this?
Our work on this planet is something greater. It is something truly divine.
We shall reveal the ancient secrets of Nexus.
Ever get a feeling something's seriously wrong?
This is not good. Not good at all. By the gods, you are beautiful.
I will show you what true power is. Soon all will become clear.
And we are back, and look at that, we've replaced Cougar with a Jeff Tallon. Jeff, how are you doing, man?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm excited that you came by. We're
Hey, the kids call him JTal, by the way.
Yes.
That's what the kids call him, is JTal. So,
Most people call me J-Tal.
yeah.
J Tal, really?
Yeah.
What? I like Jeff Tallon. That's a cool name. You have Talon. That's a cool last name.
It is.
It is
Talon.
a cool ass name. Yeah.
What's the noise you make?
Wow. That's the.
Yeah.
That's the. That doesn't make sense for Tallon, dude. Talons are like eagles.
I know. That's
Like that's.
oh, that's an awful noise. Let's never do that again. Let's get right into it. So, it was really scary. Actually, it was actually frightening. How long have you been with Carbine?
I've been here for a little over a year now, actually.
Awesome. And you just made the team lead for items, yeah?
Yeah, a couple months ago.
Awesome. All right. Well, a couple months ago.
I've been working on items since I started, so
Oh,
it was
damn.
more of a natural progression.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
So we have a few questions of our own, but we're also going to be pulling questions from Twitch chat. Like I said earlier, if you have any questions for Jeff about anything items, please post them in the Twitch chat. We'll be pulling them. Also on Twitter @TonyRay, I'm going to be pulling some questions there as well as the Facebook page. Go to that last post, tune in today at 11 a.m. That post to share our WildStar Twitch page, and I'll be pulling questions from there as well. So I got a big question that I think a lot of people ask, with like rarity of items. How do you determine the drop rates on certain items?
It's a lot of different factors that we add together to try to come up with what we think is going to be where we want to hit the rarity for how rare we want the item to be, because it feels better to get something that's a little bit rare.
Yeah.
That's unique to your character, or at least unique to a small group of players, but also keeping them fun, because we don't want you to not have fun because you're not getting the things you need.
Right.
So it's a balancing act, and sometimes we go a little bit high and we go a little bit low, and we need to tune it, but we're always tweaking the dials.
In WildStar, it's great too, because when you find like a blue item or like a rare, there's a little sound effect that like pops up. You'll kill something, it's like like that, and you're like, and then you get a little excited because you're like, I'm gonna get some good. So you gotta take a look at what those stats are.
You also notice that it's larger the more rare it is when it pops out, so you're like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, all
Makes a big deal out of it.
by design. By design.
By design. Speaking of design, how do you guys come up with these these memorable and appealing items that we have in the game?
So we tried to do a combination of having stuff that's useful to your character, stats, item specials, spells, things that actually make a difference in the power of your character, while also putting in stuff that feels unique, has good visuals, has unique icons, pretty much anything that we can throw on that's a cosmetic thing that make your character look cool.
A lot of times what we'll do too is like if you're in an area, the item is kind of flavored to what's going on in the story. So like for example, I was just doing something in Whitevale Tract 4, and I was a warrior, and I got a Protostar letter opener blade. Right, so it's, you're doing your Protostar stuff. They have like kind of an office sort of efficiency sort of theme, and so when you have the letter opener as a sword, that's just funny, unique, little cool name, and it blends into the story, so it kind of helps you remember like, oh, that's right, I was in Whitevale Track 4 and I did that thing.
Yes.
Or maybe not Track 4 because that's a dev term, but whatever.
Crazy names is a good way to get people to really like, oh yeah, I remember that specific item.
Right.
So I've done a couple that lore is a little iffy on, but I've let through. So
That's cool. And real quick, if you're typing your questions in Twitch, our questions bot is not working right now, but we are working to get that fixed as soon as possible. So if you have a question for Jeff about anything items related, or any of us really about the game, send it to me on Twitter @TonyRay. It'd probably be the easiest way right now. I'm pulling those up as we speak.
So while you're doing that, Tony,
Yeah.
Jeff, let's talk about this is more from the dev perspective of how do you actually create items? Because there's a lot in the game. Like there's a massive amount. How do you actually create an item? How does it go in the game? What's the process behind that?
So it's actually a pretty long process because our item records are massive. They're not as big as some of the other records that we have in the game, but there's a lot of different data points that we have to hit, and there's a lot of different fields that we have to fill out, and if any one of those is not 100% good, the item probably isn't going to be that great. So it's a lot of being very precise in a lot of different areas. So we have Excel, spreadsheets. We are
I love Excel.
spreadsheet foo, where we have a lot of validation on how we put all the stuff in, and we basically come up with what stats we want on the item, what breakdown of the stats we want on the item, what the item's name is, try to match that up to what the item's appearance is, but sometimes it doesn't always match up because we want to do something that looks like it's for the zone, but also has an interesting name. And sometimes they don't always overlap, but we try really hard to get them to be, and it's a lot of work.
It's a ton of work, and it's you, and then who else works on the items?
I have Evan Graziano and Mark Chang as my two minions, so to speak.
Right. Kind of help out with that
It's
stuff.
nice
Yeah,
to
they
have
help, they help out
minions,
a
though.
lot, actually. And other teams have also pitched in to help with items because it's such a vast system that touches everything in the game. I mean,
Yeah,
we
like-
make the PvP items, we make quest loot, we make stuff for challenges, and all the dungeon drops.
So and I know Victoria, I think, helped out on the dungeon stuff for a while too. So here's a question though. Speaking of PvP stuff, it's kind of a contested issue right now with some of our itemization.
It's coming up.
PvP is always a contested issue.
Yeah. By the way, for people that are interested in like, what's the most vocal audience that you have usually? I'd say PvP is usually the top one.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about the PvP itemization patch that's coming up here on the next patch that we're going to drop with our next battleground, Sabotage, which is on PTR, by the way, which you should totally play. Let's talk about that. What's the new stuff that's coming in for these items?
There's a couple big changes that we're making to PvP gear in regards to the actual gear itself and the stats. Mostly there are some changes with the PvP stats to make them more effective in PvP and make them more valuable in PvP. Especially PvP offense, which is being renamed to PvP power, so that it also affects healers. Because a big problem we had with the original stats was that PvP offense didn't really do anything if you were a healer.
Right.
Because you're not actually generally dealing damage to players. You're maybe crowd controlling them, but you're not actually dealing damage to them. So you don't need to penetrate defense. So the changes to that is going to make it valuable for healers to have PvP offense as well. And we're also changing the way that PvP defense and PvP offense interact with each other, so that it feels better to have both of them, basically. So they're not just canceling each other out.
Sure.
So that is a little bit more on the PvP team and the class team side. They take care of most of our stats. I just do the distribution of them to make sure that it's something that the players actually want on an item.
Sure.
And also, we are changing the way that rune slots work on PvP gear. So if you are purchasing a piece of PvP gear right now, it will have locked rune slots on it. So you'll always get the same color and the same count. And that's fine the way it is, but we're changing it so that if you want different rune slots on your item, you will always get the same count. So you'll buy the chest piece, for example, you'll always get 3, but sometimes it'll be different colors. If you want to, get more prestige and buy it again, you can buy it and get different rune slots on it, so that you can put different runes that are maybe more valuable to your class or more valuable to your specific build.
Right.
So you're not locked into the ones that are manually put on the items.
Sure.
Awesome. So I have a question from this is from Twitter at RC WildStar. In terms of gear progression, what is your approach to prevent content skipping?
We have a system actually called Elder Tiers that, to much to my chagrin, a lot of the add-ons that show item level don't actually calculate the item level correctly. So we get a lot of like, hey, this item is the wrong item level. And we're like, no, it actually isn't. Because it's sort of hidden. We're actually working on displaying effective level to the player so that they know exactly how powerful the item is.
Right.
Because right now it just says, oh, it's level 50. And we're like, yes, but there are several tiers of level 50 gear.
Yeah.
And every tier of content has a different elder tier associated with it. And that greatly fluctuates the power level of the items. And we try to design the content so that you kind of have to be in mostly gear from the previous tier, if not all gear, ideally, before you progress. But if you're really good at dodging telegraphs and doing your rotation and stuff like that, you can get by with not having a full set from the previous. But
Right.
you can't skip an entire tier.
Sure.
you will get punched in the face.
I do not enjoy getting punched in the face. I found that out recently. It's not fun.
It's not.
I have a question. We are still trying to work on that Twitch bot, the Twitch question bot in chat. So if you're posting questions in Twitch, unfortunately, we're not able to grab them like we normally are. So I'm having to like filter, and that's obviously kind of hard. So if you have a question, send it to me on Twitter right now. I'm pulling questions at Tony Ray, and I'll be able to try and get most of your questions answered. That's a lie. Not most of your questions, but some of your questions answered, because there's a lot of people watching the stream. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Jeff. We have another question from Lee Ricketts on Twitter. Lee Ricketts, that's a cool name. Will there be a rare mob dropped mounts / hoverboards?
In a way, there already are, actually. Mostly we have the mount from the boom boxes. But yes, I would like to add more, but mounts are a very high commodity among the team.
Yeah,
so
certainly.
everybody wants everything for their content, and I have to tell them yes and no. So when we want to have something that big, it becomes sort of a little competition between the different teams of, we want this for, we want it for the quest area, or we want it for the dungeon, or we want it for the new raid, or we want it for this, promotion we're doing, and stuff like that. So when we get those in, it's sort of a tough call of where those go. So
Yeah,
yes,
and just available on random drops is sometimes hard to tell all those teams.
yes.
Sorry, we're just going to make it a random drop. And they're like, no, but my content's so important, and it needs something epic to reward players for doing it. So, yeah, such is the life of an items guy, right?
Right, because no team really owns random drops except me.
Right.
So it's kind of selfish.
Right.
If I'm like, yeah, it's for items.
You need that, though.
We're doing it.
You need that, though, because
Right.
on occasion, if you get that one epic drop when you're just, like, killing some random mob, and you're like, and you just find it, it's, like, amazing,
So,
you know?
The noises you make.
Dude, here's the thing though, Tony. When you get something that is so rare, or
Yes.
so like the percentage chance of you getting it is just hard to do. So you get it. It's like you won the lottery, kind of. It's like, oh man, I just won the WildStar lottery,
You
where I
won
get random things.
the items lottery.
Yeah.
I like it.
So you just get excited.
Okay.
Like I was.
Yeah.
Hey, so here's a question. Looks like some of the filtering is working now. Big Pork Chops asks, can we expect any rebalance or changes on current rune sets? Some of them seem much weaker on their set bonuses than others.
Yes. The class team is constantly looking at adjusting those. They handle a lot of the spell balance for both classes and for anything that we put on items, which kind of makes sense because it all affects classes, so it's kind of have to fit together better. And we are always working on putting in new ones. So in addition to constantly looking at how powerful they are, how effective they are, how good they are, and tweaking the spells to actually feel better, we're also looking at adding new ones to PvP, to raids, to everywhere in the game that we can. So.
Gotcha. So here's another question from Kiernath, whatever. Will we be able to change slots on PvE gear? Why change just PvP gear?
You can actually change. You can actually change the slots once you have the item. So once you actually have acquired the item, the slots are going to be determined by random chance about whatever they are. What we wanted to do, what the changes for PvP gear is actually for most of the other gear that you can buy in the game, you can buy it and it'll roll random slots. And that's interesting because sometimes you get something that's really good and sometimes you don't. And you can always just buy it again if you wanted it. PvP gear was an exception to that rule in that we had locked in slots. And we wanted to remove that sort of inhibitor to repurchasing gear and getting different rune slots and trying to get a slightly better piece of gear. Maybe not necessarily better in terms of power, because they're always going to have the same amount of power to all the stats, but maybe you will get a different rune combination. And that's true for everything else that we have. It's true for drops, it's true for vendor purchase gear, it's even stuff that you get off like the Elder Gem vendor, right? That's endgame. You can get in random slots. So we felt that having PvP be different was not really a good thing. So we're just actually making PvP gear match the rest of the gear in the game.
So I had another question from Twitter from Thomas Burns. This is about trigger fingers.
Everybody's favorite, Amp.
Oh yeah. What is the plan, and when is the drop rate going to be increased for getting trigger fingers?
So the current way trigger fingers was set up, and all of them, all of the dungeon dropped amps were like this. So amps drop in World Loop. They drop out of the challenge loot bags that we have on all the challenges in the game. And then there were quests, vendors, and dungeon drops. And the dungeon drop ones were dropping at a much lower rate than we anticipated and really wanted. So we're upping that rate so that it's easier to acquire them from running dungeons. You can get them from normal dungeons, you can get them from veteran dungeons. And we also move them from just the final boss to every single boss. So every time you kill a boss in any dungeon, you'll have a chance at getting a higher chance at getting the dungeon drop amps. So trigger fingers is a unique issue because not only was it not dropping as much as it should have been, it was also extremely valuable to spell slingers.
Yeah. And on top of that, that's probably our highest played class.
Yes. So the supply was roughly about the same as a lot of the other dungeon drop ones. It was a little lower, but it wasn't drastically lower as a lot of players perceived it to be.
Sure.
It was more the demand was way higher for that one than any of the other ones. So we're trying to balance that back out.
Could you say when those changes were coming in?
I hope in the next patch.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I got another question from Mean Season on Twitch. There's a rumor going around. I love rumors. There's a rumor going around about the drop chance for ability, skill, and amp upgrades being lower than intended. Is there any truth to this?
It's almost like we just talked about this.
Yeah.
I actually posted that on the forums, so that's where the rumor
How
is actually from.
dare
Is
you
I
start
started
rumors.
it.
Yeah.
How dare you?
It was lower than we wanted. So that is being actually hotfixed in, because that is something that we really want players to actually be able to get.
Right.
They're available on the Elder Gem vendor, but we didn't want that to be the primary focus.
Right.
So
I think there's something to be said about a piece of gear versus an ability, you know, that you can get in your progression. So yeah, good call.
they're still pretty rare, but they're not like 1 in 10 million rare.
Sure.
Which is
They were 1 in 10 million?
It happened.
Wow.
It happened.
Well, we're fixing it. So
We are fixing it.
That's rare.
It was
pretty
that's
rare.
Remember,
much
I was
more
like,
rare
it's like
than
winning the lottery.
It's almost
Right.
It was
is.
harder than the lottery.
No,
almost.
no, the lottery
The
is.
funny thing is,
isn't
there's
it-
still a bunch of people who had them. Like, you went on
Well,
the server,
there
you
you
could
go.
find them on the auction.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
many plat, but
Sure.
I was like, oh,
Some would say too many plat.
right.
Right.
Too many plat.
Too many
Anyway,
plat.
so this, we got another question from Addysoft. Will it be possible to choose the type of items, DPS, heal, tank, we are looking for while questing or doing dungeons?
In terms of questing, yes. I actually have a very large task on my plate right now to essentially audit a lot of the quest rewards that we hand out in the leveling experience and see where we can offer more varied rewards in terms of right now it's kind of there are a lot of 50-50-ish items
Right.
where it's kind of half good for a tank and half good for a DPSer. And we want to kind of move away from that because really if you're doing something in WildStar, you're probably want to be either completely a tank or completely a DPSer.
Right.
There's not a lot of hybrid really builds, and even if you are hybrid, you're generally focusing on one or the other. So we want to kind of move away from a lot of the current rewards that we have, especially in the beginning of the leveling, where you get a lot of like, this has tech and strength, or tech and brutality actually. Internally it's strength. But yeah, so moving more to like, it should have, tech and grit, or brutality and finesse.
Right.
Or brutality and moxie, because everybody wants moxie. Everybody wants moxie.
That crit.
I got another question. That crit. Another question from Rafe89 on Twitter. Frost, Do you think gear will help Tony not die? If so, what level gear do you think Tony needs to survive on Nexus?
So here's the thing. Like, there's a certain amount of skill involved with playing WildStar, unfortunately for Tony. And so what that means is that some of that gear will definitely help keep him alive, but there's also like level restrictions on some of it. So it's like you have to be level 30 to put this gear on. Like, you at level 10 should probably have a level 30 gear, but unfortunately, it's just we can't equip that for you because it's too high.
Thank you.
level.
Well, it's so sad.
That's
Thank
to
you.
answer your
Thank
question.
you, Rafe.
It certainly can.
Yeah, thank
and
you.
also, what you can do is do some crafting,
Yeah, but we're
and
good,
then you
though.
can sometimes get better gear
Yeah, okay.
than what you have at your level, or check out the auction house, buy it there. So I mean, just this for you, it's a bro tip. Just go ahead and look
I
for it
want
there.
your bro tips.
Yeah.
I'm not that bad.
Okay.
We got a question from Shane Nick Withers on Twitter. Props to all the items with specials. They are really special. Any plans to have the specials that actually change your model?
I can't talk about that.
I can say that we've experimented with that before.
Yes, we have experimented with that. We have the art team messing with things.
Double ooh.
Intriguing.
No, it's ooh.
All right. Sorry, fine. Next question.
Intriguing
Hey,
sounds
this
so
is
boring.
this is from AOP 112, I guess. AOP, whatever. The 1800 weeps. Weps. There we go. This is on the apparently the hard to type out the whole word thing. The 1800 weapons are best in slot for raiding. That should not be so. Getting to 1800 now is impossible due to all the people in 1800 gear that sank their rating and are now facing 1200 rating people. Is anything being done to remedy these two issues, JTal?
Yes. The first one is that we are actually changing the rating requirements for PvP gear. They're coming down just a little bit per piece. Because right now we kind of have, you hit 1500 and you can buy your whole set. And while that's good, once you hit 1500, the path to 1500 is extremely painful because you're not actually able to get anything other than your starter gear. So we're bringing some of the items down, leaving some of the items where they were, but for the most part, you should be able so that like when you hit like 1300, you can buy a piece, and then you're a little bit better. And then at 1350, you can buy another piece, and 1400, you can buy another piece. So it's more of a natural progression. As your rating climbs, you're also able to get more pieces of your set.
Sure.
So that should address a little bit of the people sort of tanking their rating and boosting themselves back up and stuff like that, and getting the 1800 gear. And also the randomization on the rune slots will make people want to buy the gear more frequently. So there's a chance that you could get more out of your 1500 set before pushing into the 1800s. So that's something that we're looking at addressing. And as far as the them being best in slot for rating, it's an issue that we're looking at, but we don't have a good solution for yet. But we are looking at ways to address that, basically, because that is something that everybody is very aware of, and it's not something that is ideal in the current game.
There we go. Awesome. An honest answer there. So, Tony, you got any awesome Twitter questions?
Yeah, I do. I have one here. This is from William Evans. Question: are we going to be able to change the color of our weapons? I want my resonators to match my outfits. People have got to accessorize. Jeff, what
I
are we
would
gonna do
also
about it?
like to know that answer.
No, I want you to answer it, even though you have nothing to do with it.
Okay. Yes, we are constantly hounding our art team. It is a lot of work to actually have basically dye channels on weapons.
Here's my favorite thing, when people go like, guys, it's super easy. You do it on costumes. Why does it work on weapons?
Right.
Just all you do is flip the switch and then it works. No. Believe it or not, we have to do a lot of work because there's a ton of weapons and different types and shapes and all sorts of fun dye channels and things that you need to adjust.
Yes.
So it's not that simple. So, but it is something that we are definitely looking into.
Yes.
That's what we can say. When? Who knows? But we're looking into it.
Other things that affect how weapons look.
Speaking of other things that you can't really talk about, what are some upcoming PvP items changes that you can talk about? Because for people that don't know, our big drop or next patch, the end of this month, is all PvP focused. So
yes,
what?
It is.
Yeah. So what do the players maybe have to expect that you can, maybe talk about a little bit on the show?
The rune changes, the stat changes, they're both coming in.
I'd like to point out, we did ask this earlier, so thank you for.
You know
being a
what?
part
Did
of
we
this
really?
show.
Did we honestly?
We
I
honestly.
talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
we didn't
that's-
talk about any of the news items coming.
Well, let's talk about that.
Thank
there
you.
are new items.
Thank you.
There are new PvP items because
I'm gonna give
when
you
we release
notes.
a new
Not make me look
battleground,
like an asshole. I'm trying to do Twitter questions as well. Frost is an asshole. I'm automatically flinching. No, come on. Hey, come on. But he is though. Okay, I'm sorry. So what
He
were the
said
new
it
things?
twice, and he only got one Nerf dart. And I'll say that because
Is
you're right.
and is a great guy. Asshole. Oh God. Okay, so
New battleground.
Yes, new battleground.
New battleground means new items, new imbuements for the actual battleground. Because every time we have a battleground, we put in new imbuement items on the.
Just for people that don't know what an imbuement is, can you explain that to them?
An imbuement is an item that starts off okay, and then you can do quests associated with that item to power it up to be even more powerful. Usually more powerful than it's intended for that level range,
Right.
or that area, that tier of itemization. So there's new ones for the new battleground, and there's also new crafting recipes tied into the new battleground as well to make new PvP items through crafting. So
Cool.
we try to cover all of our bases every time we come up with a new content, basically.
Cool. So we got a question from Nick Widener. Currently, Path costume pieces are exclusive to each faction, but will there be any opportunities to get the opposing faction costumes, or at least similar items? My Chua demands to have a trucker hat and camo pants. Also, what happened to old Explorer goggles?
I don't know what happened to old Explorer goggles. Art might have decided that those were not, that they wanted them for something else. That happens a lot with a lot of our visuals. Is our art direction kind of takes hold of them and is like, hey, we want this for this piece of content because it matches it better or something like that. So they were probably a placeholder thing, and they like the trucker hat better,
Right.
or they like whatever the Explorer one is.
So, to his question,
I don't know. Right now they are faction specific, and for the foreseeable future, they will remain so unless somebody suggests it on the forums.
or
And,
demands it. And
Donatelli
also,
notices and tells me to change it.
right. Also, camo pants on a Chua does sound pretty rad.
It sounds adorable.
Right.
I would love that. Him running
Maniacally.
around. Maybe they'd squeak a little bit,
The thing is, they're not cute, dude. They murder people.
Yeah, but they're cute murderers.
All right, I'll give you that.
Such thing as a cute murderer. You could be a murderer and a cutie pie. It's okay. Okay, so I got a question that was weird. This is from Noxy Greenrose. Let's get this out of the way real quick. Noxy Greenrose on Twitter. When will Frost admit that you are better than him? Never, Noxy. He's going to constantly live in this state of denial. And it's just, we've got to accept it, Noxy. I've accepted it, and it's time you do as well.
I'm glad that
It's just, it's okay. It's all
the
right.
questions that I've been asking, by the way, wrote up, took from the Twitch, the Twitters, those are the hard-hitting questions. What Tony puts in, asshole. What Tony puts in is, when will Frost admit that he's not as good as Tony?
I've got another one. This is from Pikachu. Pikachu asks, at Tony Ray, I love the gear in other games that had particle effects or glows. Will we be seeing more of that in WildStar?
Eventually.
Ooh. Eventually.
Yes.
I like Thesaurus for soon. Is it maybe soon or?
Well, that could be.
Sure.
Eventually could be
Soon, maybe, perhaps, is what
Soon,
what
maybe,
that.
perhaps.
Soon,
Yeah,
maybe,
that's
perhaps.
That's
good.
what it means from the dev perspective, I think,
Okay.
for soons. Just point that out. Hey, this is from Paper Delios. I don't even know. Are you going to add some BOP recipes in order to give more value to professions?
Well, I don't actually know whether or not this is a thing from the crafting team, because crafting is handled by a completely different team.
Yes, we've had Noah Tool and Peachan on, actually. If you've watched some of those episodes, you can...
They do all of the crafting, so I don't know whether or not they plan on doing that. I know right now we have all BOEs, because we want your crafting profession to feel like, something that you do for yourself and for other people.
So let me ask you about that too. So how does one balance for, crafting, where you can create your own items and put them into the market basically, and then the stuff that you're putting on drops, rare drops, on vendors, on quest givers, etc. How does one balance those things?
We try to take into consideration the amount of time that the crafter has to put into actually making the item, because you have to gather the materials, you have to get the recipe, you have to have all the proper trade skill level, all that stuff. And then we also take into account that generally it's a lot easier to get like a blue off of a challenge, or just go out and do a quest, and get a piece of gear. So for most of the leveling experience, crafting gear is actually better than a lot of the stuff that you can get from these same level quests, because it takes a little bit more effort and it takes a little bit more time.
Yeah, we've described this on the show before, but effectively if it was a graph of leveling gear, it'd kind of go like this, right? Where its usefulness kind of goes down a little bit, but in between those peaks and valleys is where crafting kind of comes in and fills in those gaps. So it's like, okay, cool, well, maybe I can find something that's a little bit better off of somebody who made it for me, or I made it myself, and that way I can still have gear that's progressively more badass, even though I didn't get it off drops. Pretty cool.
And we're always looking at adding new crafting recipes to the end game to sort of coincide with when we expect the players to progress through the content. I know Peachan and Noah and Magoon are all working on that right now, actually. So it'll be exciting to see where crafting falls in the progression. That's all I can really say right now.
Okay.
But yes,
Question
will be good.
Question from Archon Tier. Yes? Sure. Are we getting gear sets, being a tank and switching the DPS gear manually so I can get quests done is a bit annoying?
I would like to see them.
What that
I would love to see them.
Yeah, I think that
so cool.
Archon Tier, you're not the only person to be asking that question. I think that would be more of a UI question, actually, when getting that stuff set up. So if we have some more UI people on the show, we can ask then, but fortunately I don't know what we can answer with certainty on when that's going to be.
I don't know, sorry.
So this next one is from Sephorox507. Any chance in the future to buy other classes' gear from the PvP vendor to use as costumes?
There is a chance.
What kind of chance? What kind of role are we talking about?
I don't know right now. There is a chance.
You're telling me there's a chance.
There is a chance.
Right? You get it?
Yeah, no, that's
If
good.
that's what people want.
It's from the Jim Carrey movie, Dumb and Dumber.
There you go.
Yeah.
Plus, we disable costumes in PvP, so I don't really have a problem with players, looking badass in the open world with the PvP gear.
Right.
Sure.
Or
Why not?
nakies.
Or naked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nakies?
Nakies. I'm nakies and I'm shooting my gun. You can do it with costumes in PvP.
Hey, so this question is from Gnarlbones. Why does Tony look like he's in a hypnotic trance whenever he looks at questions on his Mac? I look at that because I'm concentrating real hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say reading is hard.
Reading is hard, and I'm trying to listen so I don't ask another question, the same thing. So Frost doesn't point it out midstream, and I have to write Frost is an asshole on my paper. He's almost out of Nerf bullets. It's fine. Whatever. I'm giving up carry. But yeah, I'm just concentrating really hard, so this is my concentration phase.
So this next question is from Lippenfield. Will we see item customization go deeper in the future? For example, the ability to customize color effects on weapons. We kind of talked about this a little bit before. Go ahead, J-Tal.
Maybe.
There it is. All right. So this next one is from Valerius. Sounds like a Roman dude from like the year 2.
I am Valerius.
Yeah.
Valerius.
He's
you will listen to me.
Yeah.
Valerius.
He obviously runs an arena with gladiators.
Yes.
Random slots aren't interesting. Thank you for that. They're annoying, in fact. Please consider adding an Elder Gem item that allows us to re-roll the rune slots on a piece of gear? Question mark? You wanna talk about that?
I will take it under consideration.
Wow.
Sure.
There it is.
I will take it under consideration. I can't promise anything.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say no.
Consider it
but I also
considered.
won't say yes.
Considered, Valerius.
There you go. And then just keep fighting your gladiators and
My gladiators are the best in the land. I stumbled over gladiators. I added an extra D in there. I think.
gladiators?
Gladiators. My gladiators. Fred Knott, any info about epic power cores?
Yes, they are a thing that is going to happen at some point.
Jeez.
Quick and to the point. That's why I like JP.
Yeah,
it's more
I
of a
like
crafting econ type thing,
Yeah.
but yes, I do know that they're working on epic power cores to make epic items.
I've got one last question for you. What has been your favorite item that you have created? Your favorite one?
There's actually two that has had threads made about them, actually, with a combination of players loving them and also simultaneously hating me.
Wow. Oh, surprise.
So, and that would be the Bag of Infinite Frustration, which, by its very name, should tell you what it is.
Right.
A lot of people both like the humor of that and also hate it because it costs a lot of money and doesn't really do a whole lot except give you frustration.
How does it provide frustration, Jeff?
When you open it, it gives you another bag that is named something similar to Bag of Infinite Frustration, but not the same. It's like Eternal Suffering and stuff like that. And then you keep opening them, and you get more and more and more, until it finally gives you another Bag of Infinite Frustration.
Wow. That is... You were a troll, sir.
But there is something special you get from going through the whole cycle.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but
That's a surprise.
You do get something. It's not
You get to deal with the frustration and get a reward
of some kind.
There you go. So we've got a question here, and then we've got to get through some other items.
Yeah, damn it, Frost. I would have said it was the last
it's
question.
It's just one last question. Geominty, whatever. Where is Shadow Blades and Grizzlebees?
I know.
We've got a lot of Shadow Blades.
We got a lot of Shadow
right
Blades.
now.
We have very little Grizzlebees this show. In fact, we have 0 Grizzlebees this show. But we've got...
I find that to be completely disappointing, and frankly, Grizzlebees, Derek Grizzlebees, to be exact, finds this to be grossly offensive. Grizzlebees.
You done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
We've got a lot of Shadow Blades to go through today, so we're going to get right into some fan art, give you a little break from getting grilled with questions. We got fan art, so let's roll that sweet fan art slide. It's fan art, fan art. One day we're gonna create a title slide for this segment of the show. Hey guys, welcome back. We've got some fan art for you right now. I feel like I'm a crazy person when I do stuff like that. Our first piece is from Jessica B. This came in over the weekend. Now this was actually a screenshot that she took and then modeled after and drew her own rendition of it. I've taken a look at both of them. This is definitely not like a filter or anything like that. This is a drawn piece. It's awesome.
Yeah, it looks like it's from the ship hand mission.
Yeah.
One of the first ones you encounter.
Yeah, this was a great piece. Jessica, great job. Our next piece is from Maud B. Britton. I hope I'm saying that right. Maud B. Breton. Super cool, fun, like comic looking thing.
Badass.
Yeah.
Look at that stalker. Got some Edward Scissorhands here.
Okay.
It is awesome. I feel like this could be a Saturday morning cartoon show.
Oh, for sure.
Easily.
Yeah, I would watch this and eat Cocoa Puffs.
Yep. Like you normally do on Wednesdays.
In my Nakies.
Your Nakies.
Nakies eating Cocoa Puffs. It's not a big deal. This is from Dariaz. Dariaz? Very cool. Either way, however you say it, I'm sorry. Awesome job.
It's a badass looking Chua.
Yeah. Super cool.
Big ass guns.
In the Raiden set.
Yeah, in the Raiden set. That's a very good point there.
Yeah. Our last piece is from Evangelica. Aww.
Look like they're hanging
It,
out
it looks like a wedding invitation.
in space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come to our wedding. It's going to be out of this world.
I would say this is more of a prom pose.
Oh, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Dancing under the Nexus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
under the Nexus.
Yeah.
That looked good though.
Prom pictures are goofy. Yeah, great job, everybody, for fan art. So last week, we've been talking about Shadow Blades for a long time. You've been doing the Shadow Blades thing for quite some time. Ever since we saw Shadow Blades comment to us in our Twitch chat, we've been doing Shadow Blades. Finally, Salty Okra if you don't follow her channel, she streams a lot of herself drawing different WildStar fan art. Sometimes not WildStar fan art, I'm not sure. But every time I've seen her is WildStar fan art. Go to her channel, twitch.tv/saltyokra. She drew this this Shadow Blades meme, and it's awesome. So we've asked people to send in all of their memes. We got flooded.
So also I'll point out something, we tend to look at trends in social media and things like that, and brand reports, and where we're mentioned and all that stuff on out in the internets. And Shadow Blades was specifically a pretty high trending thing on Twitter.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
That was like one of the top things that for WildStar that was being kind of talked about. So thank you guys for hashtagging that Shadow Blades, because it's been popping up quite a bit. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we want to ask for more of these. If you want to send in any more, please send them to us on Twitter at Tony Ray, at Stephen Frost, hashtag Shadow Blades, hashtag WildStar. Because I literally got probably over 60 tweets, at least.
Yeah.
At least. So I picked the top 10, and here they are. Our first one is coming from Lupins. I don't know if you, oh wow, it's really hard to read that.
Dude,
from
it's
here, actually.
so hard.
They told me to take a break,
So
so I broke their backs.
next is from R. Pepper.
Fools! You cannot deduct creds as a business expense. It's really hard for me to read this because it's so far away from me,
Yeah.
and my vision is awful.
Yeah, just a little input. The monitor that Frost is reading this from is very far, so please don't think he's dumb. Well, I think he's dumb, but yeah. This next one's from Asylum.
Best damn accountant here, and all I got was this stupid mug. I hate this mug.
There's a little mug that says #1 accountant if you can.
My mug, as a face, equates to this mug, as I'm not happy with it.
Oh, God, that was a stretch. This is from Van Dune.
Someone told me to do my job. Someone doesn't work here anymore. I can't read this. It's so far away.
I know, this one's from Corrupt.
The only thing more legendary than my weapon is my itemized deduction reports. Look at this immaculate spreadsheet work.
Oh my God. Evil Camus?
Shadow Blades excels at tab targeting.
I like that one. Aerowolf.
Your folly that's the word.
Shall-
Your folly shall cost you greatly. Now you should have saved your expense receipts.
This is brutal.
I ruined
so
that,
brutal.
and I apologize, because that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
Airwolf, I'm sorry, man.
This is from Murloc's Rule.
I calculate a 99.9% chance. Oh, slaughter!
Murloc's Rule had another one. It was so good. This is the second part.
I'm here to crunch the numbers and crush skulls. And I'm all out of numbers.
And the last but not least, of course, saving the best for last, from Shadow Blades himself, hitting us with all of the feels.
For 38 hours a week, I'm a nobody. But for 1 hour Tuesday and 1 hour Thursday, I feel like a hero. The hero that Nexus deserves.
Yes. Okay. Shadow Blade, thank you so much, man. That feels. The feels.
I'm hit right in the feels.
You're not a nobody, by the way. You're a somebody. For all of the hours of the week. We're trying to bring out people's self-respect here, self-confidence.
Your self-esteem should be massive. You are a demon in accounting. Remember that.
Also, so something to point out, somebody was asking about Grizzlebees.
Yeah.
I think we should challenge the community to make a Grizzlebees piece of art as well. A WildStar Grizzlebees.
What's the Grizzlebees background again? What?
So he's an explorer
Uh-huh.
who went through the Congo in Africa,
Okay.
and then decided to live in the mountains of California,
Right.
and then works at H&R Block and Accounting with Shadowblades.
Oh, with Shadowblades.
Yeah, easily. I would picture this gentleman to have one of those crazy hunter mustaches
Yeah.
from the 1912s.
What is it? Grizzlebees.
Grizzlebees, yes, of course, Grizzlebees understands that if you're going to hunt the most dangerous game, humans, one must hunt them in the way that is eloquent,
Right.
with daggers.
Right. Okay. Hey, so we're gonna move on. If you have any Grizzlebees action, please send it to us. Also, if you have any more Shadowblades memes, those were hilarious. Send them our way on Twitter at TonyRay, at SevenFrost, #Shadowblades, #WildStar. We've come down to one of my favorite moments of the show. It is time, all together, for the epic moment of the week. Yes, that was good. That was good. Not bad.
We never tell anybody
pretty
who's
good.
on the show
I didn't even
when
know what you
to
were
do
saying.
that.
I know.
Yeah,
We're
but I'm
like,
glad you
do
went like
this
this.
thing.
Yeah, you moved your
Okay.
arms. You moved your arms, and that's all that matters. This is from Orish Army Knife, and it is called, I'm not even going to set it up, it was called Reindeer Road. Roll that footage.
It's a good cut to the footage.
Roll that footage.
There
we go.
There it is. So yeah, this.
I hope there's music right now.
Well, there is music, and let's
don't think
not
we
play
can play
it.
it.
though.
Yeah, don't play it.
Don't
Don't
play
play
it
it.
for the love of God, man. Copyright.
Mute that.
Yeah.
Did you mute it?
I did, don't worry.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
he's
good.
muting it, good. So this is maybe you got this dude got this idea from the fact that one of the plugs that you get this as a drop, and maybe you got a lot of them, and then he's like, you know what, forget it, I'm just gonna buy all of them and then make a race course on my house with it. Kind of epic. Reindeer Road.
Awesome. Obviously, calling back an homage.
Don't say it. No.
To the other one.
Don't get sued.
Why do I?
Don't get sued. That's rule number 1 of this live stream.
Don't get sued.
Yeah. Number 1. But
Sounds a whole lot like Reindeer Road.
But look at that. Pretty awesome.
And it's right back to where he started.
That's
so
some good level design right there.
That really is, because he can go right back into another one. He was in that. He was doing that. What is it? Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah.
He would be good at that.
But don't get sued.
I can't say another game.
No.
That was a good game. Anyway.
No, we can't. We can't.
That
say
was our
the
epic
names.
moment of the week. And yeah, we can't say other.
Don't get sued. Step 1.
Oh, game
God.
shirts, man.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, we're all gamers. We're all supporting.
You worked
all,
on it. That's
all of the
fine.
games.
Yeah.
That was our epic moment of the week. If you have an epic moment of the week, please let us know. Send it in through Twitter, through email, through Reddit, whatever. Just post it. We'll find it for sure.
We'll find it.
All right. You don't have to get hostile.
We'll find your epic moment of the week. Can't hide it.
What was our impression off this week? We talked about it, but we didn't decide.
I don't even want to look on here either as like thing.
Okay, one thing you got to know about Frost, real quick, we're going to wrap it up right now, but he is an impression hipster. Like, I don't want to do Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mickey Mouse, Christopher Walken, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Jack Nicholson. All these people are just mainstream impressions. I want to be a cool impressionist and only do impressions that nobody's ever heard of.
Dude, I'm just saying when your dad does those impressions,
I'm
it's
doing
not
the
cool.
impression of the background third naval officer from Titanic, the movie. If you didn't see him, he blew a whistle and said, "Oh no, there's an iceberg." Those are my kind of impressions. Our name is Frost, and I'm a Frost impressionist. I'm a hipster.
Why are you going more into slow
I don't
motion?
know, I really
Like,
don't
you're
know.
just
I have no idea. I felt like you were sinking in mud. Like I pushed you in a mud pit and you were sinking down, and I was like, "Bye, Frost." And you were like, "No, I'm a her." You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who are we gonna do?
I
Oh,
did.
we got Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt.
We were thinking about doing George Washington. And it's funny that somebody said, and I will say also, just for Frost reference, if you're ever curious as to who my favorite American president was, it was in fact Teddy Roosevelt.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to change it.
Wow.
Yeah, right. Fine.
Oh, you got me. You got me right there.
And like Teddy Roosevelt, you just got shot and you're still able to talk. History.
Oh,
for the win.
I like that. I like that. Okay, let's do Bill Clinton because you're just talking about
All right.
presidents.
Yeah, you go first.
I'm not good at this.
You go first.
By the way.
Yeah.
No, you do it. You do it.
All
I
right.
gotta hear it.
Here.
Wait.
we
No,
gotta
I'll
cut-
do
we
it. I'll
gotta
do it. I'll do it because
He's
yours is
gonna
gonna
do
be
it?
better. I'm
All
gonna do it first. Yours is way gonna be better. All right.
You don't
Yeah.
even know. You don't even know. Could be awful. I like how you turn to the side. No.
Oh, Jesus. So
You're done.
wait. Oh, hold on. I did not have sexual relations with that woman,
You sound
Miss
like
Lewinsky.
you sound like you're from like I don't know
I
1910
sound like I'm from the
in
old west.
South.
Let me tell you something about being a bartender at the company parlor.
Yeah.
I have every whiskey available on tap at all times.
My best sarsaparilla is available to anybody who can afford it.
Oh, that was so bad.
All right, so here's what I will do. Are we
Save
gonna-
this stream and end it. Let's do it.
Yeah, all right. Say, let me get a star wipe. Thank you, diamond wipe, whatever it is. I will tell you this much, Tony
God.
Ray. I hate your guts. That's the truth. I hate your guts a lot, and I will don't push my face with your hand. That's not cool.
Why are you so good at all of these? It's so annoying.
I did not. I'm not finishing that sentence.
Guess what? We're all done here. Frost is
done.
annoying.
We're
Frost
done.
obviously wins because I was a bartender
Because you have
from
a
the
terrible
1920s.
reference for that. We can keep doing presidents if you want.
No, thank you. We're all done here. You know what? Let's do Barack Obama real quick.
Are you
I got a Barack Obama.
Oh wow! All right, let's
All
hear
right,
yours
all right,
first.
real
Your
quick,
challenger.
real quick. We're so over. This is so pointless, but we're doing it. I'm sorry. Star wipe. Hello. I believe
Oh man.
that America
Oh no.
is the greatest country
Uh-huh.
in the world.
Okay.
That's my Barack Obama.
Okay.
I can say one sentence.
Okay.
You do it.
All right. Let's see what I can do. I'm not prepared for this, but and what we're gonna do is try to figure out what is the best possible way to do this.
That's bad. That's so
No,
bad.
you're bad.
No,
you were
so
bad.
I'm
And
jumping
Tony,
into your star wipe.
and Tony,
so bad.
You were bad. Okay. I'm trying to figure this out, but you're popping in. Okay. That's horrible. America deserves better.
Hey, America deserves for this show to end. We will be back on Thursday for WildStar Weekly at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time right here on twitch.tv/WildStar. If you don't follow us on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, what are you doing? Facebook, what are you doing? You got to get on it. We post all of these videos after we're done doing this. We upload them to YouTube, so if you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, follow us youtube.com/WildStar online, and you will find all of our videos right there. How about that?
How about that?
Jeff, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it. It was awesome hearing about all the items.
Dude, J-Tal, ladies and gentlemen.
J-Tal!
There it is, J-Tal.
We'll be back on Thursday, folks. See you later. Your Barack Obama's awful.
I don't believe it. Planet Nexus now lies before us.
We're approaching the Elven facility. Cambot 1, Cambot 2. You getting this?
Our work on this planet is something greater. It is something truly divine.
We shall reveal the ancient secrets of Nexus.
Ever get a feeling something's seriously wrong?
This is not good. Not good at all. By the gods, you are beautiful.
I will show you what true power is.